Hello and welcome. Today's exciting episode is a fabric haul, a Christmas fabric haul.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
I feel like the Christmas fabrics made it into the fabric stores rather early this year, but that might just be me. I was watching a quilting show and they said they get Christmas fabric in as early as May every year. So, yeah. Anyway, so I bought lots of them. This one is vintage Christmas lights. Now I don't have a Christmas tree, so I don't have Christmas lights. But in New York City, if you've ever been there in December or around Christmas time, they have these giant Christmas decorations and Christmas lights decorating the Rockefeller Center. So, I love them because of that. And, I bought this fabric just because it's adorable. It's nice and colorful, but it's also got the dark sort of navy. So, I'm not sure what sort of dress I'll make out of it. I better decide quickly. But, I just really like this fabric. This one on the left here, the border print one, that is the pattern I used for the flamenco dress. This one here is just a nice pattern, and it's sort of I feel like I should make a few dresses that aren't vintage, and I think that would look lovely in this. But also this is my current favorite dress, the Vintage Vogue 9106, and so I might make it out of that. I haven't decided yet. Okay, next we have a holly, one of many. This is the really loud garish one, and this is the one that I saw it next to this Italian tweed. They were just sort of resting together while I was sort of organising fabrics. I just thought, they look gorgeous together, so that's why I'm making the Italian tweed up into a jacket. But it's got little bits of metallic in there, but what I love is the dimension on the leaves, because quite often in a holly they just slap on a green and that's the leaf, whereas this has got lots of different colours in there, and I really enjoy it. So there's only 3 yards of this fabric, so I could make the Sophia dress, which is sort of a midi length dress, or I could just make a long plain pleated skirt. So I haven't quite decided yet. Okay, next we have, I've got another red Scandinavian one because this is the one that I made up into a dress, and I like that so much that I got another one, and this is another 3 yard cut. So, because the other dress I made is quite short because I only had 2 yards of fabric. But this one, it's just a mix of different, like there's Christmas trees in there, snowflakes, there's like a reindeer and present. And then I was like, why is there a baby rattle in there? But it's actually a Christmas bauble, but I think they wanted to be able to claim that it's multi-directional, not just one direction. So they sort of altered the angle on a few things. But I mean, would you really wear a dress where the reindeers were upside down? I'm not going to. So the reindeers are going to be facing the correct way for me. So in my opinion, it is directional, and those Christmas baubles kind of look like baby rattles to me. You know, those Tiffany baby rattles. But anyway, so I'm sort of thinking about, I saw someone wearing a Mrs. Santa, the wife of Santa, I saw a lady wearing a knit sweater that was a Mrs. Santa Claus, and she looked fabulous. She looked so good. So I thought, maybe I'll wear make a vintage suit, or maybe a shirt dress. I'm not sure. So that's that one. And then next we have candy canes. I love all sweets, but this one is so vintage. It's printed in an unusual way. So the red is printed and the red of the candy canes is also printed. That's the base color, and the tiny bits of white are left white. And then once all of that's done, then they went back over and put the green on. So it's a very 1950s way of making printed fabric, so I really appreciate that. So it looks extra vintage because they've applied the layers, like they've printed it in the way it would have been done originally. So yeah, I think I might make a bamboo dress out of this one. Maybe that's this pattern here, or one of the other, like the Rita dress, the vintage one. Maybe, I'm not sure, I haven't decided yet, but I like it. And then there's this one, which is pale blue, and it's well, it's kind of a brighter pale blue, but yeah, vintage Christmas ornaments. And yeah, as I said, I don't have a Christmas tree, but I've bought all these Christmas fabrics instead, so I can just have a mannequin hanging with these. So yeah, I'm definitely tempted to make it up in this pattern here, the Vintage Vogue 9106. And if you haven't seen the holly dress, the dress that I made with in the tiny holly print, then I think that will be the next video you see, because that dress is just an absolute delight. But yeah, so now I want to make everything up in that dress. But this is the next one. It's another vintage inspired one, but yeah, this one's different because it's got mistletoe, spruce, holly. Yeah, it's just got a great mix. There's snowflakes, then there's all the vintage Christmas decorations, and there's a little bit of gold, metallic gold on it as well. And I really love, like, I always love pink and red together, but I also love that there's the aqua and teal and with the navy background. I just think it's a gorgeous, playful mix. So these are the two different vintage ones together. Vintage Christmas decorations ones together, and then I've got the candy cane one, which looks very vintage. So yeah, I don't really think any of them go together. I don't think you could make matching coordinates or anything like that, but they are adorable. And I'm not really married to the idea of Christmas being one day in December. I think these are gorgeous, and I'll probably just wear them all year round. And this navy blue one that I just got out, that's just navy blue and white and grey. This is the first Christmas one I saw this year, I think. And I just thought it was beautiful. It's like the same fabric designer pitched this just vague idea, and then two different companies took it in completely different directions. So I did buy this, but it took quite a while for this one to arrive. So yeah, by then I'd seen the other colourful one. I was like, but I love this too. So yeah, I got both of them. But yeah, this one's lovely. Again, I only bought 3 yards of this one because I hadn't yet made up my that vintage dress that takes 4 yards. But yeah, I really love it. So there's a couple of skirt and bolero combined that takes about 3 yards, or there's a couple of other dresses that take 3 yards. So I'm not really sure. And of course, you could also just do a really long pleated skirt with 3 yards of fabric. So I'm not sure, but I love it. And it does have the lights going a definite way across the fabric. So yeah, I think I'll just sort of have to open out the fabric and decide based on that. So next we have this one I think of as the Dr. Seuss fabric, because I don't know, it's the illustrations here are very sketchy, sort of scratchy drawing. And I love them. But yeah, they do sort of remind me of the drawings in like The Cat in the Hat and Green Eggs and Ham. And yeah, it's lovely. I suppose you could make a pair of pajamas out of it. But to me, it just would look absolutely beautiful as a dress. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think, gosh, I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 yards. But the one on the left is 4 yards and the other 2 are 3 yards. So I'll probably just measure it and then decide which one But I really do love that it has spruce and holly and those helicopter seed pods in there. I think it's delightful. Okay, ooh, some tricky cinematography. I think, oh, we have one left apart from all the different holly ones. And this one is a Scandinavian candy cane. So in the corner there, you could see the red sort of American vintage style candy canes. And this one, yeah, it's just really simple and a really clean design, very Nordic. So yeah, I thought I'd use that modern dress or maybe something vintage, I'm not sure, but I love that fabric and the sort of beigey background. So now we just have the holly fabrics left out of the Christmas ones that I got. But before I show you the different various hollies, I bought some more of that really pale pink embroidery on glaze fabric. If you saw my Chanel month, which was back in August, if you saw the fabric haul that I did for that one, Gabrielle Chanel used pale pink, but also the creative directors since then have also returned to using pale pink. So it's a very signature colour, and I thought I'd do something vintage. Originally, I bought 2 yards just to make a simple summer dress or a puffy sleeved shirt, but I've made some floral puffy sleeve shirts and I really like them. So yeah, I just bought a few more yards so that I can make a nice big dress out of it. So yeah, okay, let's get on to these 4 last holly fabrics because they are darling. I just love all of them for different reasons. The garish one that I've already showed you with the metallic, gold metallic, and then it's going to match the Italian tweed really well. And this is a really small vintage look. And I've got 5.5 yards of this, and this particular dress pattern takes 5.5 yards. So I think I'll probably make that with it. And this is a sort of medium size holly with its gilded lilies, like it's got gold metallic around it. I'm not sure I love it. I do like it, but I'm not sure I love it. I like this one better. It still has gold metallic, which is a bit too bling for me generally. But because it's a smaller scale, it's quite palatable and I love it. But yeah, I think the sort of more Scandinavian Nordic one is, and this one here is completely delightful too. So yeah, I like the 2 smaller ones, perhaps best as everyday dresses. And then we have this last one, which is so completely 1950s vintage. Again, it's got the mix of spruce, mistletoe and holly leaves, and I absolutely, plus the berries, and I absolutely love that mix. And it does have a lot of white. So at first I was like, does it look too much like a tablecloth? But now, I just don't care. I just think they're all beautiful. And loads of people make skirts and dresses out of tablecloths. So, I mean, does it even matter? If someone wants to yell at you and call you a tablecloth, then they were going to yell at you and say something abusive anyway. So, they're toxic. But yeah, I just think these are all absolutely lovely and I love them all for different reasons. But yeah, they are so delightful. They bring so much joy to my life. Yeah, I'm not really... Oh, and this is the gingerbread one. I think you've probably seen this back in November. And it's just because November it was my Pretty in Pink month. So I was trying desperately to make that up into a vintage dress then, but I just didn't have time. And this is I think it's Hessian fabric that's been painted with white paint. So I think people use it it was in the homeware section. So I think people use it like they buy a big piece of this fabric, then lay a big piece of plastic over it and then cover their Christmas tree pot in it if they bought a potted plant. It is going to be my gingerbread jacket because I think it looks like a gingerbread house or a, gingerbread man, how they're sort of that brownie colour and then that spicy brownie colour and then they just put plain white icing over the top. As soon as I saw this fabric, I was like, ooh, gingerbread, yum. So I've got some beads that look kind of like candy cane. I apologise for that background noise. This is several hours later. So the boiled sweets is what they're called, but I'm not sure what you call them. Maybe old-fashioned candy. And yeah, so there we go. I think the next video you'll see is me making the 1952 dress in the teeny tiny holly fabric, and then I shall make loads more dresses. This is their dress. It is darling. I love it so much. And yeah, then I'll have to get to work with these other Christmas fabrics. Oh God, the construction work sounds have started again. I guess someone's trying to finish something before Christmas. Speaking of, I have a gingerbread jacket that is not going to make itself, so I am going to go and do that. But first, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you've been inspired to pull out any old Christmas fabrics you have in your stash and get creative.